Alright, hello and welcome. There was a very interesting update that occurred in Stasis. Unarmed combat got a buff, and it feels pretty wild. I usually do unarmed because I hate crafting new weapons every time I need one. Because, you know, a dagger is only 2 aluminum and quick, simple, easy, low resource consumption. But once I got these little dudes, the iron knuckles, I've been using those because might as well. Plus, it's pretty much on par, but now it feels like it's really good. On a few enemies, we can do up to 8.5 damage. On most enemies, like the tree ones, we do about 6 to 7. But then you have your secondary, which does double damage output. So the tree dudes are about a 2-hit if we do double damage, which is really wild. A few enemies like spiders are a 2-hit. If we find a spider, I'll show you. But to give you an idea of what that does, a dagger does 3 damage. It feels like this is a useless item. Completely useless item other than the tutorial. Here we go. Here's an enemy. 3.3? The dagger is really bad. However, the sword is 5 damage output, which also isn't so great. It's not horrendous, granted, but it's definitely not... It's not that far off, you know? Especially with the slow swings of the sword. I will admit, however, some weapons are really good and then some of them are just kind of weird. I don't know why. I'm still pretty new to the game. So a lot of this, I'm just going like, alright, maybe there's like status effects. Like with the freezing point and the, this little dagger here. Cactus stab? Cactus stab. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if the cactus stab is good anymore. Some weapons do make sense, like the bow. But then we have the frostwood short bow. I don't know if it makes so much sense. It has a 1.2 scaling, but it still does like 5 damage, you know? Some weapons are really, really nice, like the baseball bat and the stone hammer doing 7. The aluminum rapier isn't that bad. It does 4 damage, but it's pretty fast. The spear is probably one of the wildest ones. The spear does 9 damage. 9 damage early game is not bad at all. I'm really worried about making new weapons now because of unarmed combat. I believe you can upgrade your little items. I think this is it. Although it does magic damage now. Unless I'm wrong. But I think this is for the little bracelets we have. Oh yeah, iron knuckles right there. Okay, yeah, I definitely wasted materials. A huge amount of materials making all of these weapons. A lot of these weapons do have upgrades and stuff, but I don't want them. I don't think I need a baseball bat, a hammer, a sword, a rapier, a bow, a gun, every single weapon, you know? I really don't think I need the freezing point either. Oh my god, it's only 3 coins. That is horrendous. Frostwood bow? No way. There's no way the gun is also, right? I'm keeping this one. Okay, this bow. The frostwood bow requires a normal bow, and the normal bow is 3 coins. That hurts. Just to showcase, you can literally sell rocks. And you'll make way more. That's pain and suffering. It is so silly how food items are way more valuable than weapons. What? Like, sure, a no star is 3 coins, but 1 star is 8 coins. Granted, however, I don't know if starred weapons are better. Did we actually get another mana regen? I kind of hate how the lightsaber is only 5 melee damage. The lightsaber is kind of a flex, but also not really kind of a weapon. It's one of those gimmick weapons that look cool to new players, but once you have one, they kind of really suck. Okay, maybe the weapons do get better over time because of the scaling, but honestly, as a new player, it doesn't look so good. It really does not look so good when your best weapon is no weapons. It's very silly, but I think I'll save my resources is what I'm saying, you know? Gonna be honest with you, I wish there was a fast travel. They need to add mounts or fast travel. Mounts would be awesome. Can you imagine a little RC car? Maybe not an RC car, but you know, like a little vehicle you could drive, or a horse or a UFO kind of thing, you know? Stuff like that. Really cool mounts. I think one game that has like some of the best mounts is Wizard 101, because they just have tons of mounts. Granted, the game's like 80 years old, but every time that I hopped in, you had players flexing different mounts. You had horses, Pegasuses, full-on trains, vehicles. What I've been doing for the past while is grinding this area out for any rares that I could get my hands on. Bruh, the spider's a 3-hit with M1s, and these don't take up durability. It's so good. But I've been grinding out trying to get books. I've been trying to get one of those shields again, and any of the quartz. I do need quartz. I have like 3 quartz right here, but I feel like I'll need them in the future kind of scenario, you know? Life is so much easier with Unarmed. Watch this. We already got half of its health down. Wild. I want another shield. If I can. I think we have 100 sticks. Yeah, we got 100. We're getting a lot of aluminum. I love consuming scrap metal. I don't know if anyone's gonna get that reference. There's a silly video of Benson from Regular Show, who's telling the boys to go to war because it needs scrap metal. I think that was the reason. Oh my god. I mentioned this a lot on stream, but my mind goes to weird places. There's so much brain rot in the world. And I've seen so much brain rot. So I just autopilot to anything I can think of. The reason we got to scrap metal is because it was sheet metal. Sheet metal. Benson's eating sheet metal. But the reason we got to that is because aluminum is a metal. My mind will autocorrect. It doesn't correct, but it just drifts astray. Do I want to fight him? I'm gonna be honest with you. That is one of the only enemies that I hate going up against. They're just a little bit beefy, but they're not that bad. By the way, I have some bad news. If you search of Benson eating scrap metal, I'm not sure you'll get the video. I'm not sure you'll get the right video. Speaking about videos, on our recent video, there was a mention of game's a little bit tedious for Roblox RPG. It's pretty good, but it's kind of mediocre. And I agree with that. This game is kind of dull. You have these large spaces, not much is happening. There's a few enemies, granted. There's like, what, maybe 7 enemies in the first area. You got little dude, 2 little dudes, you got the little iceberg lettuce thing, you got the bull spider, you got the floaty thing, that's at least like 7. You got the boss with its summons. But you know, the boss is in a confined space. Everything else is kind of roaming around. I think this game is good as a dungeon game, but I kind of agree that it needs a little bit more variety, a little bit more interesting interactions. I think one way they could do that is by tossing in more encounters, rare encounters. Hear me out. On the off chance you can fight a rare entity, like a elite spider that has higher health, higher damage, maybe, +1 attack, like a new attack. Like this one shoots out 3 webs instead of 1, and it has better drop rates, and maybe some new items like, oh, now you got sturdy spider silk. It is a stronger type of silk, is used for long bows, you know, very, very precise long bows, which have a higher damage output the further distance they fire. That'd be cool. One idea I had was having these little dudes, these tree dudes, have a boss. I'm gonna be honest with you, World 1 kind of sucks. It's not bad, but it's very open. We only have that one dungeon, the dungeon door that we entered to get into this area, and there's a lot of wilderness everywhere else. If there was like another dungeon in this area, that'd be cool. Where we could fight like a tree boss, a giant ent. He summons little dudes, kind of like maybe a Colosseum maybe. Because some of the more rare enemies, like the bowl and the tree, they're a little bit tough, but they're also, as mentioned, rare, especially those little dudes. These little dudes are hard to farm off of because they literally drop nothing. But maybe that second dungeon could increase the chances of these little dudes appearing. Because they're pretty hard to spot in this one. You know, we'll spot like 1 or 2, but compared to the amount of spiders and the little ice dudes, they're pretty uncommon. Especially for that walking distance in between the dungeon that we're currently in and the starting point of the region. There's a huge amount of walking distance. That, or maybe add in some extra activities like fishing. For example, they posted a silly joke about adding fishing. With the huge open world, they probably could do that. They could slide into more MMO features. They really, really could. If this were a full-on MMO, I think I would have more incentive to grind out the game. There'd be more to do. It'd be like Fantastic Frontier, where you could do one thing or slide into the other thing. You can go dungeoning or you can go hunting. You could go fishing. You could go crafting. You know, different stuff like that. But I think they kind of don't want to do that out of worry. Because if they do kind of do stuff like that, maybe. It might be hard to balance out. Like if they add crafting, like even more crafting, even more blacksmithing kind of features, like, hey, we're adding a mineral deposit over here. You can now get stone and aluminum pretty easily now. However, on the off chance, you can get some quartz here. But then if players AFK grind right there, it's going to be a problem, you know? So I could see how some things would be good, some things would be bad. It'd be silly if they add more to cooking, like baking. Add even more. World 3 will be a farm. We'll get to see like chickens, and then you can collect eggs. That'd be cool, honestly. I don't know. I think I'm thinking too much in the MMO direction. Dude, that M2 did 17 damage. If Unarmed is bad, please explain that. Unarmed feels so good now. These little dudes, they're supposed to like have a rare, I think. Don't they drop like fairy dust or something? Not really, stardust. I think one of the easier things to do would be rare encounters though. Could do world bosses easily as well. Interesting events like that. I have spawn conditions. Like, I think Vesteria did this, where like if you kill a bunch of chickens, or if you kill a bunch of mushrooms, a giant mushroom will spawn or something like that. That would honestly be cool to see. World bosses would be really cool. I don't know. These are just my ideas. These are just my head ideas that come to mind when thinking about how the game could be a little bit less tedious, a little bit less dry in its vast areas of the world, you know? That or random chest spawns. That would be interesting. The game Orthoxia had spawn points for chests, and inside the chests you could get some pretty awesome materials and loot. I would imagine that'd be easy to implement in this game as well. Have a collection of positions where a chest could spawn, and then have them spawn at those positions at random time intervals for a limited amount of time. And if a player happens to stumble across them while having a key on them, they could open it. I don't know, that'd be kind of cool. Wouldn't be anything good or anything too great, but on the off chance something rare occurs, that'd be cool. I was told by one of you guys that you can heal over by a campfire. Thank you for telling me. I wasn't sure if it was this one or if the entire world was a healing spot, but the one all the way at the beginning of this area healed me, so I was like, all right, we got to try this. I wish this was more well known. I wish a lot of these spots were interactable spots where you can actually sit. So then players could actually realize like, whoa, I'm healing here. Like maybe particle effects or something, you know? But this is a very nice feature. One of you guys mentioned that you need help with exploring the desert labyrinth. The layers, layer 2. And I don't know if I can do that. The reason I say I don't know if I can do that is because I don't know if these dungeons are randomly generated or if they're set in stone. If they're set in stone, a lot of the stuff that I mentioned is easy to do. But even if they're not set in stone, a lot of it is easy to do as well. Because if they're in sections and the game randomly selects what sections go where, you know, that'd be easy to do. But if they are sections, making a map of how to navigate layer 2 is quite difficult. However, I will say this. I'm pretty sure if you just go forward in the general direction forward, you should be alright. Navigating layer 2. That was the advice I was given when I explored it. And that's the advice I will give you. What? He just crumpled. Guys, what should I do with these? I have a lot of them now. I don't really know which ones are good. You would kind of assume that mana regen would be really, really good, and something like health regen, for example, would be really good because, you know, the regening aspects. However, granted, I don't think there is health regen. There is health increase, but, you know, for the sake of explaining what would be good, I mentioned health regen. However, whoa, what? Is that a rare? Is that good? Wait, where's this go? It's a face accessory, isn't it? What? It actually goes there? Huh. I didn't think it would do that. I thought it was gonna be like a vanity, and we just got a good vanity, you know? But I don't know which ones are good. We have defense, we got mana regen, and we got health. I don't know which one's good. I feel like defense is good as well. If it's a flat defense, like you can decrease the hit points incoming. Something like regen sounds really nice. Granted, defense sounds really nice as well. Health sounds pretty bad in the essence of flat defense. But I would imagine there is a floor that it can't surpass. Oh, right, I was gonna mention this earlier, but one of you guys asked if I could showcase all of the unique weapons. I'm gonna say sorry. I don't have any unique weapons other than other than this, maybe. As I've just been grinding the first dungeon without making actual progress. Just, you know, I'm looking for rare stuff like the enchantment books. But I haven't found any except the one that I currently have. So I haven't been doing much. I've been broke as hell, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've just recently made the better backpack. This one, the hiking pack. And I'm so glad I did because I was running out of space trying to carry everything. So my progress has indeed been slow. Very slow. Pretty cool that we got a monocle though. I don't know how rare it is, but pretty cool. Yeah, I really don't know if mana regen is needed or defense is needed, you know? I'm gonna do defense for now because I literally have no mana. Mana items, magic items. I don't think I've dove into magic yet because I don't know how magic works in this game. For example, we have runes, but I feel like an item like a rune would be a one-time usage. Or a rune would just be a consumable item for upgrades. You know, when you think about games, runes are usually like little enchanted stones that are used for like blacksmithing and powering up weapons and stuff, you know? So hearing rune doesn't really strike me as a spell casting item, but an enhancement item. So I'm really worried about what's a consumable and what isn't. I heard him. Is he in the wall? He was in the wall! What did you... What do you mean? Why were you in the wall? What the hell? There's no way he was up there, right? There's a good chance he was up there, but there's no way he would cross, right? That's silly. Regardless, it's silly. Okay, yeah, it definitely feels like the dungeon is randomly generated. So if they are randomly generated, I cannot help you with layer 2. By randomly generated, you get sections of maps and you combine them together when the loading process happens, when this happens. And the game just determines how it goes. If you want to see how something like that works, Roblox actually has a randomly selected random generator game in Studio. It's that speedrun game, not speedrun, but it's one of it's the line runner games where your character just goes forward and you have to like jump over obstacles and whatever, collect coins. It's one of those types of games, but if you actually look at how it's created, a lot of the parts are individual parts and the game just selects them at random. We got a lot of paper, but we didn't get anything good. We got a monocle, I guess. Alright, that's pretty much gonna be it for this video. I'm kinda disappointed that one of our best weapons is gonna be this handheld flag and unarmed combat. But oh well, I say that because we're going to be diving into the next area pretty soon here to do some more progression. But I was hoping to get a little bit better of equipment to prepare for. Oh well. Game's a little bit dry, a little bit tedious with its large open areas, but the game's still good. The game is still good. I'm going to be... I was sliding off. I got panicky. I'm going to be progressing in this area pretty soon. And we'll see what I can do about layer 2 and layer 1 in this area. As for directions, even though for the most part, I believe the dungeon pathing is straightforward. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do much. Alright, melee combat. Unarmed melee combat. Really good. I'd recommend checking it out. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed and I will see ya.